What is up, everybody? Tactical Turtleneck here, and today I would like to welcome you back to my autism, because we are about to go on the most cursed fucking trip through history that I have ever tried to explain. This is the story of how Napoleon Bonaparte's missing, dried up, travel-sized dick created a chain of events that ends with Post Malone tattooing "always tired" under his eyeballs. It makes sense, and no, I'm not on drugs. This is history. Uncut, unhinged, unsolicited. Let's fucking go. May 5th, 1821. Napoleon dies. Stomach cancer, arsenic poisoning, or just a severe allergic reaction to British hospitality. We don't really know. What we do know is that during the autopsy, someone decided that this was the perfect time to snip off his royal fucking baguette. Now, there is a debate on who did the deed. It might have been Dr. Antomarchi, but more likely it was Abbe Vignali, Napoleon's Corsican chaplain, who Napoleon once called impotent. Yeah, if you call a guy impotent, he'll steal your dick. That's just Corsican law.
What's that?
Oh, sorry. It's just my sword. It keeps getting in the way.
Now, this has been documented in a book called Napoleon's Privates, which I own and read cover to cover in a Cracker Barrel parking lot while spiraling out of control doing copious amounts of cocaine. The BBC even did a write-up on this shit in 2022. It's real. And by the way, if you must know, his junk is 3.8 centimeters long. And that is not a penis, that is a desiccated cocktail shrimp that's all war crimes. You could fit it in a Pez dispenser and still have room for a mint. So, what does a rational human being do with a mummified imperial cock? If you said keep it in the family for 100 years, congratulations, you might be a Vignali. The dude brings it back to Corsica like it's some kind of divine relic, and probably told people it was holy. Napoleon's shriveled dick becomes the Corsican version of the Ark of the Covenant, but instead of melting Nazis' faces, it just makes you intensely nationalistic and kinda weird at dinner parties. So autistic. Corsica already had a massive inferiority complex. They're this island of rage goblins under French control, and their biggest W was Napoleon, who then dipped and became Emperor of France and basically told Corsica to suck it. But now they have his actual dick.
Ask me about my wiener.
Now, if you think I'm kidding, Corsican nationalism goes feral. There's a literal tax revolt in 1851 because some French bureaucrat tried to charge them extra for breathing too loud. And Corsican historians, who absolutely do exist, by the way, and probably keep a switchblade in their sock, claim that their fucking souvenir salami helped spark that rage.
Leave the gun. Technical only.
Imagine being so proud of your imperial cock trophy that you ride over sales tax. That's heritage. Fast forward to 1894, and Antoine Giacomini is born in Corsica. This man writes poetry like he's been personally wronged by the concept of France, which, fair point.
French! Why do you think I have this outrageous accent, you silly king?
His work, like Corsica Tragica, is just page after page of veiled threats and pissed off metaphor. He's channeling Napoleon, Corsican folklore, family trauma, probably a lingering smell of embalmed penis.
I'm Pickle Rick!
He becomes a cultural icon in Corsican nationalist circles. Think your grandpa if he listened to punk, chain smoked cloves, and hated Paris more than I do. His writing goes full diss track on colonialism, and by the time the 1970s roll around, his influence is leaking into mainland French radical scenes. The anger is now portable, the energy transferable. Enter these guys. In 1983, French anarcho-punk band. They sound like if you joined an accordion with Antifa and started chain smoking it in the mosh pit. They don't really name drop Giacomini, but their whole burn it all down aesthetic feels like it came straight out of a Corsican poetry reading that ended in a knife fight, and maybe with like 5 dead hookers. Their music is chaos, their politics are nuclear, and their French is barely intelligible because they scream every lyric like they're arguing with their mother, with entirely too many characters.
Helen, you're outrageous. I can't believe you're getting away with this.
I've been getting away with this since I was 7. Believe me, I know what I'm doing.
Good morning, girls. Helen?
These guys are mainlining Corsican-style rebellion, just without the actual pickled dick on hand. Punk doesn't need a paper trail, just vibes and unresolved childhood trauma. Sprinkle in some daddy issues. What celeb symbolizes daddy issues? Yeah, I kind of thought so. So guess who tours with these guys? The Dead Milkmen. You know, that band that sounds like a college radio prank that accidentally charted? If Punk had a shitposter cousin who never left Philly and chain smoked through his GED, it would be them. They picked up all that French riot energy, bring it home, and spread it through American punk like a crusty STD at Warped Tour. From that point on, rebellion becomes aesthetic. Punk culture leaks into tattoos, piercings, do-it-yourself fashion. Face tats go from prison sign to, yeah, I do art in an abandoned Arby's parking lot. It's visual rebellion, permanent eyeliner for people with trauma and commitment issues. So, my ex-girlfriend. Post Malone, born in 1995, shows up in 2015 looking like the 0.1% of germs that Lysol can't kill. He drops White Iverson, and within 2 years, he's got barbed wire, swords, stay away, always tired, and every other bad decision you've ever made written across his face. Now, in a 2017 Rolling Stone interview, Post literally says that he got his face tattoos because he's ugly. The same energy as Corsicans keeping Napoleon's dick out of spite. GQ even ran a piece in 2018 where his tattoo artist says punk visual culture influenced the whole aesthetic. Punk tattoo, Post's face becomes a museum for sadness and permanent eyeliner. So, how'd we get here? Napoleon dies, gets dick-napped by a bitter Corsican priest. Priest takes it home like a relic. Corsicans make it a symbol of nationalist rage. Giacomini turns that rage into Engie poems. Engie poems infect punk. French punks scream it into American ears with entirely too many silent letters. And then punk becomes tattoos. Tattoos become culture. Post Malone becomes a sad, sentient Denny's menu with face ink, all because some priest couldn't take being called impotent and said fuck you by committing the most unholy dick theft in history. That's the chain. That's history. That's why we don't skip the butterfly effect. So yeah, if you ever wondered how Post Malone became the human equivalent of a depressed Sharpie, the answer is Napoleon's dick, 1821. I'm out of here.